My beloved child, heaven is aligning your path with someone who will truly value your heart. This person has been praying for a love that is genuine, peaceful, and faithful, just like you. Very soon, your paths will cross in a way you never expected. Do not lose hope because of past disappointments. God is removing every wrong connection and preparing you for a relationship filled with trust, comfort, and joy. This person will not play with your emotions. They will respect your spirit, support your dreams, and stand beside you during every season of life. Continue focusing on your growth and your faith because divine love arrives when your soul is ready to receive it. The waiting season is not punishment, it is preparation for something beautiful. If this message touches your spirit like this video, comment "I am ready for true love" and subscribe now so you never miss the blessings meant for your life. May divine love find you at the perfect time. Before you read another word, someone is being prepared for you right now. Maybe not someday, right now. And the reason you haven't met them yet has nothing to do with luck, nothing to do with timing, and everything to do with what God is doing to you first. If that landed somewhere deep inside you, subscribe to this channel right now. Drop a comment below and tell me I'm ready. And hit that like button because this video was made specifically for you. Let's go. You've been patient. Maybe too patient. Maybe there have been nights where you lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if God even remembers you, wondering if everyone else gets to experience love and connection and belonging, except you. You've watched people around you fall into relationships, some of them effortlessly, some of them into connections that seemed like they were just handed to them. And somewhere in that silence, a thought crept in. Maybe I'm the exception. Maybe love isn't for me. I need you to hear this clearly. That thought is a lie. And today I'm going to show you exactly why. Not just spiritually, not just emotionally, but from a place of deep psychological and divine truth. God is not forgetting you. God is preparing someone. And before that person can walk into your life, God has to finish building you. Here's what nobody tells you about divine timing. It is not passive. It is not God sitting on a throne somewhere with a clipboard saying, not yet. Divine timing is active. It is aggressive, even. God is working on two people simultaneously. You and the person who is coming. He's not just preparing the gift. He's preparing the recipient. And most people miss this because they're focused on the arrival, not the preparation. Think about it like a house. You don't move into a house that's still under construction. You don't bring someone you deeply love into a space that isn't ready. God is not going to send someone extraordinary into an ordinary chapter of your life. He is going to send them at exactly the moment the chapter is finished, and the new one begins. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." All things, not the comfortable things, not the easy seasons. All things, that loneliness you feel. It's working for you. That heartbreak you survived. It's working for you. That season of silence where you felt invisible. It's working for you. Every single thing, even the pain, even the waiting, even the confusion, is being used by God to prepare you for someone you haven't met yet. Now let's talk about what's actually happening during this preparation. Psychologically speaking, we attract what we are, not what we want. This is not a cliché. This is one of the most proven patterns in all of human relationship science. People don't end up with who they pray for. They end up with who they are. If you are anxious, you will attract someone who triggers your anxiety. If you are unhealed, you will attract someone who mirrors your wounds. If you are at peace, genuinely at peace with yourself and your worth, you will attract someone who meets you at that level. God knows this. which is why before he sends the person, he insists on doing the work inside you. The waiting period is not punishment. The waiting period is the most important classroom you will ever sit in. And here's what he's teaching you right now. First, he is teaching you wholeness. The person God is sending you is not coming to complete you. That's not how divine love works. That idea that someone else will make you whole is one of the most dangerous myths in human culture. It creates dependency. It creates desperation. It creates a version of love that is actually just two broken people clinging to each other and calling it a connection. God is teaching you right now that you are whole before they arrive. He is teaching you that you don't need them to be okay. He is teaching you that your joy is not held hostage by their presence. And that lesson, that specific internal freedom, is what will make the relationship last when they finally do arrive. Because you won't be loving them from a place of need. You'll be loving them from a place of overflow. Second, he is teaching you discernment. One of the cruelest things about unhealed people is that they often can't recognize good love when it shows up. They've been so conditioned by chaos, by unavailability, by relationships that felt like work and pain and constant effort, that when something real and calm and consistent comes along, it feels boring, it feels wrong, it feels suspicious, and they walk right past the thing they prayed for, because they haven't learned to recognize it yet. God uses this waiting period to recalibrate your instincts. He uses solitude to teach you what peace actually feels like. He uses reflection to help you see the patterns you were repeating. He uses your quiet moments to whisper to you what love is really supposed to look like, so that when the person arrives, you don't run, you don't sabotage, you don't test them until they break. You recognize them. You receive them. You say, I've been waiting for something that felt like this. Third, he is teaching you what you actually deserve. This one is so important. So many people are walking through life with a deeply buried belief that they are not enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not healed enough, not interesting enough. And because of that belief, they accept less than they deserve over and over again. They stay in relationships that dim their light, because somewhere inside them a voice says, this is the best you'll get. Don't ask for more. At least someone wants you. God is not sending someone special into a version of you that believes you don't deserve special. That's not rejection. That's love. He is withholding the gift until you have learned to believe that you are always worthy of receiving it. This season of waiting is teaching you to raise your standard. Not arrogantly, not with entitlement, but with the quiet, unshakable knowing that God does not make people who are meant to settle. You were not made to be loved halfway. Now let's talk about the person being prepared for you, because they are going through something too. Whoever God is preparing for you, they are not sitting still. They are being refined. They are being healed. They are being redirected. Maybe they were in the wrong relationship and God just brought them out of it. Maybe they were living a version of their life that was taking them away from their purpose, and God is correcting their path right now. Maybe they're in a season of deep personal growth, asking themselves hard questions, doing the inner work, becoming someone who is actually capable of the love you deserve. God does not match healed people with broken people. He waits until both people are ready. And here is something that will stop you cold if you let it sink in. There is someone on this earth who is going to love you in a way that makes everything you went through make sense. Every rejection, every almost relationship that didn't work out, every person who left, every night you cried yourself to sleep wondering if you were too much or not enough. When this person arrives, you will understand. You will look back at every closed door and thank God for keeping it shut. You will look back at every person who didn't choose you and realize they weren't equipped for who you are. They weren't built for your depths. They weren't ready for your love. And that's not an insult to them. That's just the truth. Not everyone is meant for everyone. But the right one, the one God has prepared, will be exactly right for you. Not perfect. They'll have scars just like you. They'll have history just like you. But they will be exactly what you need. And you will be exactly what they need. And when two prepared people come together, that is not just chemistry. That is a covenant. Now I want to talk about the signs. Because God doesn't prepare people in secret without leaving clues. There are things happening in your life right now that are telling you the arrival is closer than you think. Sign number 1. You've recently let go of something or someone who is no longer serving your growth. Whether it was a relationship, a friendship, a job, or even an old version of yourself. You've released something recently. That release was not a loss. That was God clearing the space. You cannot receive something new while your hands are still holding something old. Sign number 2. You've started to feel more at peace with being alone. Not lonely. At peace. There's a difference. Lonely is the ache of absence. Peace is the fullness of presence. Your own presence. When you stop running from solitude and start sitting in it comfortably, you are telling God that you are whole enough to receive someone without desperately needing them. That shift is a signal. Sign number 3. You've been doing the work. Maybe you've been journaling. Maybe you've been in therapy. Maybe you've been praying differently, more honestly, more vulnerable. Maybe you've been reading, learning, growing. Maybe you've stopped numbing yourself and started actually feeling your life. That work is not wasted. Every moment of self-awareness, every hard conversation you've had with yourself, every time you chose healing over habit, God was watching, and He was saying, they're getting ready. Sign number 4. Old wounds that used to control you no longer have the same power. There are things that used to send you into a spiral that you now handle with grace. There are people who used to occupy your mind daily, who you no longer think about. There are fears that used to stop you, that you've started walking through anyway. That is not a coincidence. That is growth, and growth is always the last thing that happens before elevation. Sign number 5. And this is the one that gets people. You've been having a recurring sense that something is coming. Not anxiety about the future. Not dread. A sense of anticipation. A quiet knowing in your spirit that something is shifting. That the season is changing. That the long chapter of waiting is closing. Pay attention to that feeling. That is not wishful thinking. That is your spirit tuned to God's frequency, picking up a signal. Something is coming. Someone is coming. Now I want to address something directly, because some of you watching this are afraid. Not afraid of being alone anymore. You've made peace with that. You're afraid of what happens when they arrive. You're afraid of being hurt again. You're afraid that you'll finally receive this love and then lose it. You're afraid that you'll mess it up. You're afraid that you're too complicated, too damaged, too much of something for someone to stay. I need to speak to that fear right now. The love that God prepares is not fragile. It is not like the things you've lost before. It does not depend on you being perfect. It does not break under the weight of your realness. The person God sends will not be scared of your depth. They will be drawn to it. They will not leave when things get hard. Because they've been prepared for hard things. They've been through their own fire. And when two people who have survived their own fires come together, they don't burn each other. They bring warmth. They bring light. They bring understanding. You are not too much. You have just been given to people who were not equipped for the magnitude of who you are. The right person will not ask you to shrink. They will ask you to expand. They will make you feel like the fullest, most alive version of yourself. And you will do the same for them. That is what God is preparing. Not a perfect fairy tale. A real, deep, transformative love that actually changes both of you for the better. And here's the final thing I want to leave you with. While you wait, while God continues to prepare both of you, don't waste this season. This is not a holding room. This is a launching pad. Use this time to become exactly who you were made to be. Pursue your purpose with everything you have. Build the life that you want to share. Develop yourself so deeply that when this person arrives, they are walking into something remarkable. Because here's what most people miss. The relationship you want will be an extension of the life you build. It will not replace a life you haven't lived. So live, pray, grow, trust, not because waiting is easy. It's not, but because what God is building is worth every single day of this. And when you finally meet this person, when you finally look into their eyes and feel that indescribable recognition, like your soul has been waiting for exactly this, you will know that God was not silent. He was not slow. He was not forgetting you. He was working. He was always working. For you, on you, through you, and the most sacred love story is still being written. Your chapter is not over. It's just about to get breathtaking. If this video touched something inside you today, I need you to do something right now. Drop the word "ready" in the comments below. Not because it's a trend, but because there's something powerful about declaring out loud that you believe what God is doing for you. Share this with one person who needs to hear it today. And subscribe to this channel, because every week we go deep into the psychology of your spirit, into the wisdom of God, into the kind of truth that actually changes how you see your life. You found this video for a reason. That reason is not an accident. God is already moving. Trust the process and get ready